It's one match to be a World Pro Champion.
Jiu-Jitsu being described as chess.
It's the same concept as chess, like, but with a human body. I always wanted to be competitive. I hate losing. You need to see the value in winning. Why do you want to win?
For you, what is mental toughness?
The mental toughness where you...
What is high performance mindset?
High performance mindset. That's another episode.
In this episode, we get to discuss the mental toughness that is required to not just have wins, but to become a champion. Abud shares with us how it's important to be the first to believe in yourself instead of waiting for others to do that. He also shares with us how having the right team will push you further when you think you've reached your limit. Don't miss out on this episode as it's packed with insights of a champion's mindset. All right, before we kick off this episode, if you can do me this small favor and click on the subscribe button, I'll truly appreciate it, and it will help me bring you more and more high performance to the show. This is the High Performance Mindset, and today's guest is Abdelrahman. Enjoy this episode. Abdelrahman, finally, man, we're sitting. As we know you, Abud.
Abud, exactly.
As we grew up
Abud
together.
AJ.
Yeah, AJ. MashaAllah. Now you're, short while, you are Brazilian black belt, Jiu-Jitsu.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, yes, sir.
You've won world competitions in pro championships, London, Tokyo, Abu Dhabi. But as a kid, what was your passion?
Passion started with football, like everybody.
Like everybody.
Yes, so chasing the dream. Back in the days, you remember, supporting Brazil or Argentina, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Rivaldo, like we were looking up to them. Wanted to be a football player.
And in school, like, were you part of a team?
Yes, actually, I was a team captain in school.
Nice.
Up to the high school, but then in university days, I was the university team captain till I got an injury, and unfortunately, I stopped playing. So,
but you feel like as a kid when you were, let's say, becoming a captain of the school team, you feel that build like your character or your identity, how you see yourself?
Since I'm a kid, I've been competitive. Like I always wanted to be competitive. I hate losing. I'm always like, I have that fighter in me where I want to win at all times. Whatever it takes, I have to win. I can't walk out as a loser. I was a sore loser, honestly, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I think I always felt I have the responsibility to win. So being the team captain, I have more responsibilities to make sure that the team wins. So this is how it started.
Like over time, when you win, it builds into your identity. Like you have to see it. Like it can't just be in your head. Yeah.
It's all about your mindset. I believe it's in the mindset. If you're competitive, if how you are built, how you look into things. And for me, I always wanted to be the winner. And I always wanted to put all my hard work, everything I have to achieve whatever I look at. I'm a bit stubborn. If I wanted something, I always get it. So it's always about the mindset. If you have a strong mindset, you want to win. And for sure, you need to see the value in winning. Like, why do you want to win? Because a lot of people wanted to win for the fame or be the winner or get celebrated by friends and family. But it was something inside me where I wanted to win because it makes me happy. I'm competitive, but my first opponent is myself.
Yes, sir.
I compete against myself, so this is what made me very competitive at that age.
And you feel your parents helped in building the value of discipline?
It's always, I come from a Middle Eastern family, as you know, always with a discipline, either.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Discipline is
it's part of it.
Part of it. So
I mean, when it comes to work ethic.
Work ethic, see, I always wanted to prove something. I didn't know what it is, but I wanted to prove something to the people around me.
When do you feel that started?
Started at a young age. Yeah. I always wanted to make my dad proud, right? So the only way at that age was just like to be a champion, to win, to come back home. I was like, hey, Dad, we won. I got something. So that was the only.
Even in sports, like he would get happy, or is it only in studies?
For sure. Studies, I wasn't I wasn't the best student. Don't get me wrong. I'm good, but I never saw studying as my priority in the beginning. So I always was like smart kid who's passing in school, but I'm not the nerd who's into books 24/7. I prefer to play football than be studying all day. So I used to play every day. Before final exams, I'll be like playing football, and my dad was like, "You're not gonna pass. You're not gonna." I was like, "It's okay. I'll make it happen." I always found a way to make it happen.
Yeah, I studied the same day of the exam.
Yes. Study in the morning just before you walk in. Right? I was like, hey, what do you think? Which question is coming in?
It's the same with me. It's I wouldn't say I was always into sports. Same thing, football, any sport I would excel, any sport. But books, it's not like I can't say I struggled because I never put in the effort. I just studied the same day of the, in the bus, like on the way going. You're like, oh, really? We took this? Okay, so, and then in uni as well, like you started playing for a football club?
Yes. Actually, we started playing, back in the day, we used to play in the neighborhood. Like,
yeah, of
it
course.
It wasn't. We didn't have the luxury of what the kids has now. Like the football academies, football club. Like if you find the grass, it's like wow, you are
we never
fancy.
Knew what was the meaning of an academy.
So, never. So we started playing. I played in some teams, like competed in Ramadan. That was the biggest league for us, Ramadan. The prizes, like the officers club competition back then, and some different competitions. So I played, and then I tried my best. I got injured, and I tried again. I played with the Shabab in Dubai, like for trial, and I was with them for some time. And then I got injured again. I got a bad injury in my knee.
How did the injury happen?
Honestly, the first one, I got tackled while I'm playing. The second one, nothing, just twisted my knee in the wrong direction, and I fell in the same knee, yes.
Yeah, because it was already
damaged. So since then, I felt like football, I can play, but I'm not going to do it at the high level. Because of my injury, my age, I was like 21. I felt it's a bit late to make it happen with football. So,
and before that, football was like your life.
Football was my everything. Like when I was like, I remember 12, 13, I used to sleep with a ball in my bed. I was obsessed with football, watching all the matches, like going to cheer for my teams and playing 2-3 times a day, and just before school, after school, at night, I had to be dragged home to sleep. But after that, when I got injured, I felt like I can't do it at the highest level, and I always look at the top. I never want to be the average just football player who plays in. I'm a competitor, so I wanted to compete. I wanted to play. I wanted to make it happen. So unfortunately, football didn't go as planned. So I started looking for something else.
What thoughts were going through your head?
The first 6 months.
Especially after the second injury.
After the second injury, the first 6 months, I was going through battles in my head. Like, is it me? What am I going to do now? Am I just going to be just a random guy who's just sitting there, maybe in coffee shops, shishas, not playing, not being active? Because, when you have an ACL at a young age, it's a high percentage of recovery, but at the same time, you have 2 injuries in a row. That's a warning for you. That's a message that you can't push it. I had a surgery, 2 surgeries I had already. So it was a message for me that, okay, stop there. Your body is not going to take it anymore.
So then what did you...
Nothing. It took me around 6 months to process it, to just understand that I'm not going to be that guy anymore. Like, I'm not going to play football. I'm not going to be one of the best guys, top guys who's playing. People are not going to be calling me to go play with them, and you know how it is. So I was hoping to join the team because I had the trial with the Shabab and trained with them. So it took me 6 months to
It does
to think
affect
about
your
it.
confidence, right?
Did a little bit, but I would say didn't affect my confidence, but it affected me mentally, where I was like, that's something I wanted really bad, I'm not gonna achieve. That was the hardest thing for me.
Yeah.
So after that, it took me around 6 months. It was a bit of depression, bit of just processing what's happening,
Of course.
and trying to figure out what's next for me.
And then what did you start doing?
And then,
Because now you have a big gap of time.
yes,
and
6
energy.
months. I wasn't doing much. I
Physio,
used to
maybe.
run, physio, recovery. I came back. My knee was perfectly fine. I started doing some like normal gym, running, cardio, some weights, and for some time, till I hit a rock bottom. I was like, this is not for me. Because, you know, when you're in the gym, you're lonely. You used to be in a team sport where you play with your friends, you have the team, you have competition. But in the gym, I never understood, like, oh, okay, I'm lifting weight, I look good, and then what's next?
Yeah, there's not much dopamine coming there.
Exactly.
From
People around you, from what you want to achieve. So, and then I started looking for something else. I met my first coach, kickboxing. I started doing kickboxing with him.
But how, like, boxing,
No,
football
kickboxing.
is like...
football, I was like, that's it. We closed that chapter.
Yeah, but...
Right? So we did the gym in that
football,
gym. In that gym, I was doing the gym, and then he was a friend of mine. I knew him from before. I messaged him. I was like, I want to train with you. He was like, yeah, you're welcome. Come on, come along. We start training, and he looked at me. He's like, after a couple of sessions, he's like, you are improving real quick. Like, you got that.
Yeah, you're an athlete.
You are an athlete, and you're getting everything from the first time you're improving. Why don't we get you a fight? I was like, fight? That's too soon. I don't know what. We don't know. I start training again. At that period, he had his first MMA fight. So I had to help him prepare for his MMA fight.
Okay.
And it was only me and him in the gym. So we spar every day, sparring. He was like a world-class kickboxer. So I got beaten up a lot of times, but I was still standing. For the MMA, people didn't know what MMA back then.
No, it
so
wasn't
there
trending
that
at all.
big,
Nothing, yeah.
So we had 2 gyms maybe in Dubai who's doing this MMA thing. Start training with him. He start learning from YouTube some grappling, and I train with him. So I start learning with him as well from YouTube some grappling and Jiujitsu, which is nowadays the thing. I didn't know much. I was physically strong, but my technique wasn't that great. Funny enough, he's a striker, like a kickboxing world champion, walks into the cage with a wrestler, grappler guy, and he finished him with a triangle.
Okay.
Which is a grappling move.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, okay. We're going back to the drawing board. We start training grappling. We start training grappling for some time. And I was doing just purely MMA. For one day, I walked into the gym, and the receptionist was like, hey, we have a new Brazilian coach. I was like, okay. He's like, he's doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I was like, what's that? I didn't know what's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And he's like, his name is Ricardo. He's over there. You can chat to him if you want. Maybe you get to train with him. I was like, okay, maybe yes, maybe no. Let me talk to him. I walked in. He was in the room. I started talking to him. He's very friendly, very, very nice guy. And he's like, oh, have you ever trained Jiu-Jitsu? I was like, no. I just did the grappling for MMA. And he's like, yeah, cool. Today we have a 6 p.m. class. Just get your gi and come. And I was like, what is gi? He's like, the kimono, what we train. I was like, I never trained in a kimono. He's like, it's okay. Just come in shorts and fighting shorts and a T-shirt, and we can train. And during that MMA class, because the grappling scene wasn't that big back then,
No.
I was like feeling I'm tough. Sometimes I'm catching them with the basic moves, and I thought that, oh, I'm really good. I walk into the mat with Ricardo and I start training. At the time, back in 2012, I think, he was a 3rd-degree black belt. And I didn't understand what a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu means. I thought it's just like another karate, taekwondo, with due all respects. It's just like you get the black belt and you move on. So I start training with him. I got submitted around 20 times in a 5-minute roll. I felt humiliated, right? And then I was like, what do you do? What is this? It's like, oh, you have a good power, but zero technique. This is the words from him. I told him, okay, well, what do I need to do to start training? He's like, just get a kimono and start training. I turned into him and I was like, but I want to tell you something. I don't train for fun. He's like, what do you mean? I told him, if I want to train, one day I want to compete, I want to be a world champion. He started laughing.
Of course, because he hears it a lot.
He started laughing. And I took it personal, right? So he started laughing. He's like, okay, if you keep training, let's see. Looked for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gi, because Jiu-Jitsu was big in Abu Dhabi back then. It wasn't that big in Dubai. We had one school, it was in Al Barsha, Emirates Jiu-Jitsu, and another gym, it was, I think, World's Black Belt in Sheikh Zayed Road, where they had only Jiu-Jitsu. It wasn't as big as it is now
trending.
today. Yeah. It wasn't trending
at all.
So I looked for a kimono, looked around, I didn't find anyone. I went into eBay, ordered one through eBay. So I went to eBay, I ordered my first Venom gi. I was like, wow, okay. It took like 2 weeks. Nice. And I was training without a gi for 2 weeks. I got my first gi, I started training. Took me a while. After 7-8 months, they told me there was a competition in Dubai.
But wait, now those first 7 months at the beginning.
Yeah.
What were the thoughts going through your head during training?
My thoughts was just, I want to prove him wrong. Just being fully stubborn. He laughed at me that I wanted to compete and I wanted to be a world champion. And I was like, it's okay. I'm going to take the challenge. Something interesting. I'm learning something new every day.
And especially at the beginning, like jiu-jitsu or any mixed martial arts, it's physical contact. So when you take a blow, a lot of emotions get triggered.
It's not only emotions. Jiu-jitsu is a bit different, where I've been doing it now for over maybe 12 years. Every day, you're learning something new. This is the fun about it.
Why would you say that?
Huh?
Why would you say that?
Because you are learning something new. You're learning new moves and new techniques, because Jiu-Jitsu depends on your body type and your flexibility and your style. It's too many different styles. Like, if it works, it's right in Jiu-Jitsu, right? So it's not by a textbook where you have to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, for the same technique, you can find different variations for it. So you get, maybe after some years of training, you have enough knowledge to understand what's happening for sure, but you might get surprised with the same technique with a different variation coming from somewhere different from where you used to do. So it's interesting.
Why many times, definitely more than once, I've heard jiu-jitsu being described as chess.
It's a human chess.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why do you think?
Because jiu-jitsu depends on action and reaction, right? When you play chess, you do your move, your opponent will go in another move to attack you, right? So the same with jiu-jitsu. You can't just both go at each other. It's either action, I started with the action, you react and capitalize on it, and I go and act again.
You have to predict.
Exactly, and you have to trick your opponent sometimes. Yes. You show him you're going for something so you can switch and get something else. It's the same concept as chess, but with a human body.
But that's with different forms of, at least different forms of fighting. Mm-hmm. That same applies.
It's same, but I'm not going to generalize. But with jiu-jitsu, it's way more, because let's say about
comparing
striking.
To striking, yeah.
Striking. Let's talk striking. How many moves in striking?
I don't know.
I'm not an expert, but I will tell you. Jab, cross, hook, left hook, right hook, whatever. Knee, let's say, front kick, tip kick, high kick, low kick, body kick, right? Roundhouse kick, axe kick. So we reach 20.
But what about the counters?
You go with the combinations. And then you start with the combinations. But end of the day, you know that this combination is going to contain the same moves,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
In Jiu-Jitsu, the beauty of it, where you don't know how many grips, each grip from a different angle, from a different angle for where you place yourself in a different angle, you can make a different move out of it. So there's way more variation into the techniques and the combinations than any other sport.
All right, we'll go
We'll
further
go back maybe
into that. Yeah, but so now within 7 months,
7 months, I was training every day. I was like, okay, I'm learning something new. I'm not at
with yourself, what were your thoughts like? Because that period is like...
With myself, I was looking at my coach at the time, and I look at the higher belts who steps on the mat. I was like, I can't be the normal guy who's getting beaten up. I need to be the best.
Yeah.
So everybody can.
So how did you see yourself? You'll be able to do that?
Just I put in time, hard work. I always tell my students right now, you can't get better because you're better or you're strong. You get better once you put time on the mat, you get better. There is no way you're going to put more time on the mat and you don't get better than somebody who spends an hour or half an hour on the mat, right? So the more you spend time in training, the more you get better.
So how much would you contribute talent to work ethic?
Talent is very important. It's not very important for me, so honestly. But I've seen people who's not talented got really good through hard work, and I see talented people who never put work and they went all the way
or
down.
don't reach anywhere.
Yeah, because once you're talented, let's put it that way. If you're talented, you go like, okay, I'm good. Your ego start coming into place, right? So you'll be like, okay, I'm talented. I can beat him. I can do that. But once you fail, you'll be like, okay,
yes,
I'm back to the drawing board. I need to work hard. My talent is not going to help me. Because your talent is not going to give you endurance. Your talent is not going to give you power. Your talent is not going to, you know what I mean? So that's how I look at it. Talent is not going to be superior to hard work, always. If you have talent and you hard work, you reach the top of the mountain. But if you're talented and you don't put the hard work, somebody who works way harder than you, and there's somebody who's working harder than you every day.
That's why it's like saying, should I work hard or should I work smart? No, Habibi. You need to do both.
At the same time.
At the same time. And if there's a third thing, then do that as well.
100%. 100%.
All right. So after 7 months.
7 months, I got, my friends were talking. The beauty of Jiu-Jitsu where when you start training, you have like a small community, like your friends who's training with you. You train with other people. You meet other people. So the guys were like, oh, there's a competition in Dubai Open. I was like, okay, I'm signing up. 7 months into training.
You felt ready? Yeah?
I always been ready. Like I never backed out of the challenge, right? So I was like, what's gonna happen? The worst, I'm gonna either win or tap and lose. And if I lose, I'm gonna go back, deal with it. If I win, I still want to deal with it because it's not the top of the top where I'm.
Yeah, but most people would, I'm sure, take longer time till they feel ready. Why do you think that?
I think my mindset was like I'm always competitive. Like even if I wasn't ready, we coming into that later when I tell you the story. When I'm not ready, I perform better. This is me. I have less pressure, right? This is how I handle myself. Like when I'm ready, I'm in a camp, training, full, everything. I have a lot of pressure that I start thinking okay, I put a lot of work. Oh, I did this, I did that. I sacrificed time. I did that. Injuries.
But
my
I
body.
thought that will build into
I
more
need
confidence.
to win. I need to build confidence. But if you
also
lose,
pressure.
You go pressure and depression. If you lose, it's like, oh, I'm not good enough because I did everything and I lost.
It builds expectation.
Build expectation from everybody. It builds expectation for yourself. It's like, I did everything. I ticked all the boxes and I lost. It means I'm not that good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, I will tick a couple of boxes and then I'll go. I was like, I didn't put everything. If I win, I win. If I lose, somebody who did better work than me. This is how I try to convince myself. But I know that I always work hard. Like in my training, I never step on the mat just to play around. If I'm training, I'm training. But this is how I try to convince myself where, okay, you didn't tick all the boxes. Somebody else We're coming up.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the story of the same thing happened to me in one of the major competitions.
Okay, so Dubai Open.
Dubai Open, and I was excited. I was like, hey, told the whole family, listen, I'm competing. I want you to come support.
Nice.
My first competition, I'm winning. The champ is here. I don't know what. It's just like all that trash talk as a white belt. You know? Nothing. So my brother came. I remember my older brother. Everybody was like watching. And I didn't know the difference in categories. So I was like at 86 kgs. I signed up for the 94 kgs.
Oh.
And I was like, oh.
And
I
they
didn't know
can allow
because
you to
they allow you as long as you're
in the range.
in the range or lower than the maximum. Like the maximum is 94. So if you are 93.9, you can.
Okay,
So
but
I'm
you're less than 93.
Even if you are 50, you can fight at the 94.
Ah, you can,
right?
yeah.
But if you are 94.1, you're not
go
allowed.
down.
So you have to fight at the 120. But there's two different categories, under 85 and under 94. So if you're 84.9, you fight at the under 85,
85, yeah.
which is more comfortable for me.
Of course.
And I
Now
didn't
you'll
know
have an
anything
advantage.
about losing weight or I have to fight at this
weight
competition or
or
whatever.
anything.
Yeah. So I went to like 94. He's like, this is the only one I'm allowed to. I didn't cross my mind that I'm going for the 85 one. So I went to the 94. I remember I saw in the first bracket, my brackets came out online. I was looking. I was like, oh, I'm fighting a Brazilian guy. This guy is really good then. He's coming from Brazil. It's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
We became friends after that. He's my good friend. Shout out to him, Roger. So I fought him. I was winning the first maybe minute, and I gassed out because I went all in, put everything I wanted to prove myself. I didn't know that as a marathon. You need to do like 1, 2, 3, 4 fights to win. You have to spread your power and pace into a different fights. I went all in the first like minute. I gassed out. He beat me with points. I remember 5-3 or something, and I lost. That was painful.
What went through your head?
Through my head, I was like, I still have a post on Instagram. I'll show you after the podcast. I went to my brother. I was like, listen, from this day, I'm not losing anything. I'm coming back. I was like, let's see. Went back to the gym, head down, training, not talking. I don't like to talk, right? When I want to do something, I just work towards it. So I told my brother, that's it. I'm coming back. If I'm competing, I'm not losing. Like, let's go, the family, brother, older brother, my mom, my uncles, everybody was like,
close with your
don't
brother.
worry, very close to my brother.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, don't worry, we're proud of you, blah, blah, blah. I was like,
regardless, we're going to love you regardless.
You prove us nothing, you're good, you went into the arena, everybody was watching you, they should be proud of yourself. I was like, it's okay, I'm proud of myself, but I'm not satisfied yet because I'm used to winning. I'm not used to losing. Went back, start training. I remember 4 or 5 months later, they told us there is because what they do here, they do like a league where you do the opens. They do a couple of competitions opens, and then you do the world championships in Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
So Dubai Open, I missed that year Al Ain Open, and then I went to Ras Al Khaimah Open. I was by myself.
You didn't have your people, friends, family.
Nobody. I didn't tell anyone. It was just like, I think my younger brother, my cousins, 2 of my cousins came to watch, but I didn't tell my family. I told them, nobody, not my wife, nobody. So went in, won the first. Yeah, I remember why I won the first one. That's going back to my mindset. So I heard the guy, my opponent, saying, oh, this guy, I saw him losing in Dubai. He's not that good.
Oh.
His friend was telling him. He's like, this guy was losing in Dubai and he lost. He's not that good. I was like, it's okay. I'm going to prove you. Now you just let the fire inside me. I'm coming for you.
Asking for it.
So I went in first minute, submitted him in a triangle choke. Boom, get out. Second one, I passed because the guy didn't fight. Something happened. He got injured. I got to the semifinal. Semifinal, the same thing. A very tough fight. I won on points. And then I was like, oh, I'm at the final. That's the first competition in Jiu-Jitsu. I get to the final. Now there is no way coming back. I'm coming back with a gold medal. I'm not leaving. So I went in, alhamdulillah, we had a good match, and I won it. I was like, wow, alhamdulillah. I won the first one.
So this one was which?
It was Ras Al Khaimah Open.
Okay.
Walking down the podium, I want to leave. I didn't know anything. And I saw my current coach now. Shout out to Alex. He's my big brother. He's like, hey, where are you going? I was like, I'm going home. He's like, no, we're not done yet. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, sign up for the open weight. I was like, what's open weight? He's like, you won your category, you're going to fight the open weight. I was like, wow. Okay. I went, and the first fight I remember.
Like to perform at the same day?
Same day, but open weight. Open weight, you're gonna mix weights. Like you're gonna compete against 120 kgs, you compete against 140 kgs, it doesn't matter. Like bigger guys, because the concept of Jiu-Jitsu is technique over power. So having this open weight category where you prove that your Jiu-Jitsu is good. But as a white belt, Jiu-Jitsu is not that good anyway. So I went against one guy, I remember him, he was like 120 kgs. The guy was like, what am I going to do with this guy? Went into the match, I remember I submitted him, I was like, whoa, Jiu-Jitsu works.
Yeah.
Jiu-Jitsu works. So submitted him, went in the second one, submitted the guy, I'm in the final with my teammate. I was like, amazing. So we closed it. Like sometimes when you're in the final with your teammate, you just agree on it and you don't fight. So we closed the fight, and then I got back with 2 medals, not only one.
Yeah, I'm sure now even
It's like my confidence went skyrocket, like over the roof.
Especially after the open weight.
After the open weight, it was like something different.
And then after that, like especially after the open weight, when you came into training, you feel your mindset changed?
My mindset changed. I was proud of myself, and I saw people looking up to me, like because I was the first one to compete in the team. And everybody was like, oh, the champ, blah, blah, blah. People greeting me in the gym. And I was like, whoa. That feels good.
But I think also in terms of you started believing in yourself more.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you wouldn't go and go and compete if you didn't believe in yourself. But
I believed in myself.
After you win, especially a competition which is bigger than you would think you're ready for, it affects your confidence that when you go to training now, you start believing in this method or strategy.
You're believing in the method, and you start believing that you need to keep up the standard. So you work even extra hard. You're not, if you
but
were working,
you trust in the results.
You
that
trust
you're
in
going
the
to
results.
get results.
Yes, you're going to get results. You believe in your training. You believe in your partners. You believe that you are at the right spot. And then everybody will start. When you are the champ, everybody wants to hunt you down. Even in a white belt or a blue belt, people will start looking at you. Oh, this guy won that competition. I'm going against him, and it plays a big factor into their mindset. Like, if you go against somebody who is winning, you see him beating everybody, he'll go like, oh, he's really good. So you start doubting yourself a little bit. So that helps to perform better in the next one. So I came back, started training, went into Abu Dhabi World Pro.
Before we go there, what are the different, especially over the years, there are different people in the gym training together, and they're different mindsets.
Exactly.
Maybe some mindsets like
some of them, they are the hobbyists, where they just come in to spend time, learn something new, they enjoy it. Some of them, they come for the gathering, to make friends and chill. Some of them, they come for the competition. So you're as good as your training partner. You need to choose wisely your training partners, the atmosphere. It depends. Like, there's different gyms. You need to choose the right team where helps you develop yourself, character, self-confidence, your work ethics.
Character, what do you mean?
Character, because, see, once you are in the martial art, there's different ways, right?
Discipline.
Luckily, discipline. No, I mean, there's different ways of teaching, different ways of approaching this martial art, right? So I was lucky. I was introduced by 2 of the best coaches I've seen for me, because I was taught how to show the respect on and off the mat, how to handle yourself as a martial artist, how to respect your teammates, how to have the right mindset on the mat while training, and you switch off while you're out. You can't be the same guy when you're competing and when you come out. Like you were in check. I was on check at all times. Check with your ego. Even if you're a champ, it doesn't mean that you're better than anyone in the gym. So I was introduced to the martial art with the right people, I would say. Like they played a big role in my career as a martial artist.
From your first coach, what do you feel the main things you learned from him?
My first coach, he put the base of my jiu-jitsu. Like I learned the base from him, like the basics, the hard work, how to look into that training is not somewhere you want to just pass on time. And I learned the basics of the techniques. Where it was a solid basics. Because when you're building, jiu-jitsu is like when you build a building, so you need to have a strong, the foundation should be strong as much as you can. So you can build up.
You build on a good foundation.
Good foundation. So he built the base for me. I have, alhamdulillah, I don't like to say it, but I think I have one of the best foundations in jiu-jitsu being taught by him. And then when I moved to train with Alex, who's my current coach and my big brother. So Alex he have his way of making you a champion, like his strategy, his mindset. Like when we were training, he taught me a lot. Like I even apply it to my students right now. It's like one of the funny things I keep saying, even till today, is like, hey, I'll tell him my leg, let's say, my leg hurts. It's like, how many legs do you have? 2. Okay, you use the other one. So it doesn't matter if you cut your leg, you use the other one. You have 2 arms, you have 2 legs, you have 2 shoulders. So you always find a way. You never give up. So and his strategy, how to approach the championships, he played a big role in my career as well.
All right, we'll dig deeper into the preparation with the coaches, right?
Okay.
Mentally, what are the talks during the preparation and then also in the competition between the rounds?
Mm-hmm.
How the first round was going, when it wasn't going right, how did the coach tell you to handle it? What were the thoughts in your head? That's what I want to get into, you know?
For sure.
So now you finished the open weight in Ras Al Khaimah.
Yes.
What? Back on the mat?
Back on the mat, training, it was, I think, December. And by the time we got back, it was like Christmas time. People slowed down in Dubai. The training wasn't good. By January, we start vibing on the World Pro. It's one of the biggest competitions in the world.
Wait, but sorry, I keep cutting you off because I want people to understand as a young man in Dubai, like you have so many distractions. How did you manage to like constantly show up? Like
this goes back to my mindset where I always, if I want something, I want to do it. I'm ready to sacrifice everything. You know me, Hisham. It's been years and years. Like there's a lot of distractions in Dubai, as I said. But once I decided that I want to achieve this, I want to make it for myself, not for anybody else. Like I always chose things for myself. I never wanted to impress anybody. I never wanted to show it off to anybody. It was like, to be satisfied with myself, I need to achieve my goals. And one of my goals to be a world champion. It doesn't matter how many years
when
it
did
will
that
take.
goal came?
It was from the first day I start training.
The thing is, like, I totally relate with this. The one reason why I did not pursue football is because I did not see myself like having a chance of becoming, at least at that time, a Brazilian Ronaldo or a Ronaldinho, right? Mm-hmm. If I would go back, I would probably see myself being a good, like a Cafu or something, a defender.
A defender.
Which, of course, unless somebody maybe sees it in you, you're not going to put yourself in the back straight away. You'll just try and be the winger, which I could play all that. But actually, that's where, when I look back, that's where I actually stood out. But anyways, then of course I was into music, when I had to decide, to leave music, and then, I got into personal development, that long years of doing music and identity and all that, it's not easy to just decide
Step away.
to step. It never leaves you. That's
Never
one.
leaves you.
It will always haunt you. I'm sure, like football, until tomorrow.
For sure, yes.
But also to decide, okay, this is what's going to take all of me again. I'm sure that was constantly in your head as soon as you decided, okay, looks like football is not going to be it. I'm sure it was. This sensor is always searching. Where can I put it? So when did you see, like, okay, Jiu-Jitsu is going to be that?
Honestly,
what I'm going to
see, I have a good sense of judgment. Like, for me, I try something once, I know if it's for me or not.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I go like, I tried so many things. Like, I tried scuba diving. I did the license. I was like, it's not for me. Okay. I tried something else, cycling. I was like, no, it's not for me. I tried running. I was like, yeah, that's for me. I run. Football, it was for me for some time, and then
to the injury.
Even the MMA. Like, you didn't ask me why you didn't continue in the MMA.
Yeah, you didn't continue the kick. Yeah, which is that's what.
So for me, I saw myself as like MMA fighter. I was like, I didn't want to live that life. I trained for some time. I can judge that. I understood what it took to be at the highest level, but I didn't want to be another average MMA fighter, right?
Okay.
And at that time, with everything around us here, with all the options in front of us, it was very hard to make it to the UFC. Like, at that time, if I wanted to fight an MMA, I want to make it to the UFC.
Yeah.
I either make it to the UFC or I'm not going to waste my time.
Yeah.
Just to be, you're an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
So for me,
I'm not here to participate. I'm here to win.
I'm here to take over.
To take over.
Yes. I'm not here to just participate. So when I tried Jiu-Jitsu, I was like, okay, there's big support in the country. Huge support for the game.
Yes.
So many competitions around. And I feel that I have the keys to be something in this sport. Why? Because it doesn't need to be like a full pro athlete where you train 3 times a day. You can train once or twice a day and you still can perform, and with a minimum damage. Like MMA, you fight one fight, maybe you're not going to fight in the next 6 months. But in competition in Jiu-Jitsu, you can compete today, compete the next weekend. It's fine. So I figured out, it's like, this is me. I'll give it a try. And when I saw my training in the beginning, see, it's like an addiction, a good addiction. Like Jiu-Jitsu, when you start training, you see yourself learning, you start applying these techniques and it works, you'll go like, wow, okay, I'm learning something new. So you keep going, you keep going, you keep going. Like, I don't know, you should train Jiu-Jitsu maybe one day, and you gotta understand
honestly,
the feeling.
I want I've mentioned this in the previous, probably all the previous episodes, that I'm pursuing Ironman, but it'll be in February, inshallah, and I'm getting closer to it. But the goal for me after Ironman is boxing.
Inshallah.
I'm passionate.
Boxing is great.
I think it's in the family.
Boxing is great, but this is why I'm telling you, boxing is not that big in our region.
No. I mean,
for me to compete, like this is why I'm to relate to the same subject, where boxing is not that big, so I'm not gonna make it there. That's why, okay, maybe it's not for me. I train boxing. I train boxing from now and then. I do kickboxing. I train with the guys. I helped a lot of guys with the camps and MMA and stuff. But my thing is, if I want to compete, I'm competing in Jiu-Jitsu.
No, but at your age now.
Yeah, this is the beauty of it. We're coming for it.
Okay.
The Jiu-Jitsu. So in Jiu-Jitsu, the beauty of it, you can compete up to 50 years, 60 years. Why? Because you compete on your level of belt, age, and weight. So I'm not going to be competing against a 21-year-old, let's say, blue belt. I'm a black belt. I compete. The divisions start from adult, Master 1, Master 2, Master 3, Master 4, Master 5. So you compete at every 5 years. There is a division where from 30 to 35, you have Master 1, right?
No.
So you're not competing against somebody who's like 21 years old, who trains 3 times a day. So you compete to your level,
That's
your
your
belt,
age
your
group.
age group, and your belt group, and your weight group. So it's narrowed down to a fair competition.
Yeah.
Okay? But if you're 30, let's say 40 years old, in MMA, you're not going to call, oh, I need a 40 years old to compete against me. No. You have
fight
to
a 21-year-old.
fight 18 years old,
Yeah.
21, 25, 26. So that's a big factor as well in Jiu-Jitsu,
Hey,
where you
but,
can keep going.
Texera did it, right?
Teixeira did it, but look at him. He retired.
One time.
Yeah, one time.
Hey, he ticked it
Teixeira
off.
did it. Yeah, man. A lot of them did it. Yeah,
Respect.
respect. Nick Diaz is doing it. Alvarez is doing it. So a lot of guys like
No, but I'm saying Texera, like he got the belt.
got the belt, man.
Yeah.
Teixeira is a lot of respect to Teixeira. It's like one of my favorites as well.
He's a good. Okay, so after the Ras Al Khaimah competition,
So I was saying we come back, like let's say January, everybody talking about the most prestigious big competition in the world, where everybody wanted to compete in Abu Dhabi. Imagine Brazilians, Americans, all over the world, everybody's flying into Abu Dhabi to compete.
is it because also, of course, the level of support and also the prices? I'm sure.
The prices were because nobody used to pay for Jiu-Jitsu, and Abu Dhabi was the first to offer big chunks of prize for the black belts, for heavyweight champion. So all the top of the top
are going to come.
going to come to compete.
Yeah.
So,
Fighters like getting paid.
man, yeah, if you're doing it, you might as well get paid.
Exactly.
Right? So it was April. Back then, they used to hold it in April. We start preparing to the World Pro, training. Same mistake happened. I was like, my family, I'm competing. I want everybody to come watch me. Won my first fight in the World Pro. Second fight, I snapped my left knee. I thought I won, but it was a decision and they gave it to the other guy. It was the quarterfinals. Went back again. We restart. The dream didn't stop there. So we're coming back.
The lesson never gets old.
Yes, so I was like, it's okay.
What was the lesson that you took out of it?
In the beginning, I was really angry because I thought it's not fair. And I was trying to prove everybody is like, no, I won. And then I was like, hey, listen, nobody remember how you won. They will remember who's the winner, okay? Nobody knows if you win with points, you submit him. Nobody cares, all right? The guy already moving on.
That's just between you and,
your opponent.
And
the opponent,
yeah.
right? So I don't need to. I start justifying myself. No, did you see that? This is the video. You see that? I did that. And then after 2 days of just that battles, it was like denial of me losing. I met one of the referees, the head referees in Abu Dhabi, Carlos. And he's like, hey, listen, there is always next time. The most important thing is you don't give up. And that hit me hard. I was like, okay, there's next time, next year, I'm coming. I'll work hard, I'll come and try next year. So went back to the gym, start training. At that period,
But this time, now that you injured your knee.
Yeah, I injured my knee. I had a meniscus. It was a short recovery. 2 months I was back on the mat. It was a meniscus
Did it
injury.
affect? And then?
In the beginning, till now it's not affecting me, alhamdulillah. We just did a quick surgery to clean the meniscus and we came back after 2 months. But imagine, 2 months I'm on the crutches. I was on the mat every day. I wasn't going home. I go watch the training, you know. I talk to the guys, I watch the training, I just help to take a picture end of the class. As long as I'm there, I didn't want to miss anything, right? Okay. I didn't want to come back after 2 months and it's like, oh, they know everything. Oh, I've seen that. seen that. So 2 months, came back slowly, start training. Competed a couple of competitions like Al Ain Open, Dubai, Ras Al Khaimah again, Abu Dhabi. I did Abu Dhabi Grand Slam, gi and no gi. I won that, and then before the World Pro in was it 2014, 15? I don't remember the date. They had Al Ain Open on a Friday, right? And they had Grand Slam London on a Saturday. And I talked to my friend who used to be my partner in crime, Ahmed. We always used to travel together to compete. And I told him, listen, what about we do Al Ain, and then we go London, compete in London, and come back the day after. It's like, you must be crazy. I was like, oh, listen.
Like, actually go to London.
Wait, I'll tell you. Actually go to London. So I told him, listen, we competing in Al Ain around like, let's say midday, 12. We finish around 4. We drive back, shower, pack your stuff. 3 a.m., there is a flight from Abu Dhabi, from Etihad. We arrive to London around 7. The competition in London starts at 10.
Okay.
So we sleep overnight. We drive in straight from the airport to the competition. We weigh in and we compete. We're already on weight because we competed the day before.
Yeah.
It's like, you're crazy, but I'm in. Let's go. I was like, you in? I was like, in. Let's book. We booked the tickets. Competed in Al Ain, had 4 fights, won the gold, came back, drove all the way to Dubai, packed my stuff, saw my wife, straight to Abu Dhabi, got in on the flight, slept throughout the flight, reached London,
back, yeah.
got in the taxi, straight to the London Excel to compete. And the guys there from the organizers was like, hey, you were competing yesterday. You were in Al Ain yesterday. I was like, yes. He was like, what are you doing today? I was like, I'm competing again. So the level of dedication I had was, this is something I'm proud of. Like, who competes in Al Ain and fly to London to compete the next day, which is like, I didn't have to, right? So I just wanted to stay active all the time. I went to London.
What was it like? I'm sure now, you're going to compete in a different country.
It was cold.
Different variables.
It was cold, so that's a big factor. When you're cold, you can't warm yourself up. So you need a fight or two to start sweating. Super cold. You don't know the people. Like, nobody's supporting you. Nobody from the audience is there. And most of them are like their teammates. You're competing against him in his hometown, which is everybody's shouting at you. The referees is from there. And I'm not saying the referee is not going to be fair, but at least, let's say, it plays a big factor. If it's a draw, you're my friend, I'll be like, Shams the winner. So went there, did like 3 fights, I think.
What was going through your head?
I'm just coming back with a gold. I'm not going to fly all that 7 hours and come back as a loser. I was just like, I'm going in. I had a tradition, and I'm teaching it to my students right now. I walk into any competition, I do the walk before the competition starts. I go to the podium and I stand in front of the podium and I was like, I'm here today.
This is okay. Like, preparing for this episode, one of the points I had put is visualization. How much of it do? You don't do it, or?
I'll tell you something. It's a big part of my preparation. It's something I make sure that I look at the medals before starting competing. I look at the medal podium. I was like, I look there. I'm gonna hold the flag. I'm gonna do this. I'll take the picture. I want to do the interview after here. I was like, I plan my route where I'm going, and I look at the medal. I was like, this medal looks good. Added to collection. I never looked at the silver or the bronze. I always look at the gold medal and be like, okay, that's it. This is what I'm getting.
And how does that help you?
Help me is like, that's it. See, once you have one way, you can't go back. But if you have different options, if you give yourself options, you guys like, okay, if this one didn't taste good, I'll take the other one. But for me, I had only one option. Either get it or don't. So for me, that's it. I either go for it or I don't even think. Never crossed my mind. It was like, okay,
yeah, but why?
Silver is good. If I get a bronze, is good.
So what are the
really
benefits?
Good.
What are the benefits of visualization, you feel, for you?
Benefits is just like you set yourself to a target.
Okay, gives you a clear target.
Clear target. You don't get distracted. You don't give yourself, it's like, it's okay. If I lost, I'm getting silver. No, it's not okay for me. Because that's how, it's okay to lose now when I grew up. It's fine, you lose, you deal with it, you come back. It changed a little bit, but for me, second is the first loser. This is how I am. Second is the first loser for me. I have to be proud of myself. Like, let's say there's 50 people in the bracket.
Which is
three of them made it on the, you're still good.
It's a difficult balance. I mean, like how do you keep a very strong competitive side and also be comfortable, not comfortable with losing, but to be able to take a loss like it's not the end of the world. Where I'm sure you've seen other people take a loss, it crashes them.
I only take a loss under conditions. Okay? I never give myself excuses. I lost a couple of times. I'm not undefeated or whatever. But I don't give myself any excuses. Second, I always make sure that if I lost when I give my all and I didn't give up, the guy's better than me. It's his day, right? But if I feel that if I could have done a little bit better and I lost, this is where I hate myself.
It's on you, yeah.
It's on me. But if I put everything on the table, I did everything, but it was his day, stronger, better, whatever, it's okay.
It's you're at peace with yourself.
That's written, it's from God. I lost, that's it. But if I see myself that, maybe I would have done this, maybe I've done that, this, that, and then I was like, okay. You weren't committed enough, you weren't dedicated, you didn't do your homework.
So let's say in London, you remember your opponent?
Yes, I'll tell you why. It's an interesting story. So the first guy was a French guy. He was the judo Olympian.
Okay.
But he was competing in Jiujitsu. So I looked at him at the first fight. I saw him doing all the judo, flying stuff. In Jiu-Jitsu, I pulled guard so he doesn't take me down. Kept him, I closed the game. Played in a good strategy with him. I beat him in points. Second one, it was a British guy, an English guy. I knew him from before. I've seen him in competitions. I knew how he's fighting. I beat him up. The final, this is what's interesting. The final was a Polish guy, wrestler, like a pit bull, man. He's like big guy, big head. He was very strong, very, very strong. It was a tie till the last 30 seconds. I got a
What was
submission.
going through your head? What was going through your mind?
Going through my mind, I was like, if I don't win, it's his home, like considered like it's home, I'm losing. So I exploded in the last 30 seconds. I got an advantage. In Jiu-Jitsu, we have an advantage.
How were you motivating yourself?
I'm not motivating. I just know what I need to do. I've been doing this. So I look at the time, I look at the points, 0-0. I have 30 seconds to go. I either do something, it's now or never.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you gotta explode, open up.
You
lose, you lose. Leave it all on the mat.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So I go 200%. I did as a submission attempt. He recovered. I got the advantage. Stood up. I was like, okay. It wasn't on the score, but I saw the referee give it. And then once we stood up, before he raised the hand, the score came up. I was like, whoa, I'm winning. And the guy got super pissed, like he's a sore loser. Whoa, whoa, whoa. He started shouting at the ref, and he told him, just stay quiet. He raised my hand. I went to shake his hand. He hit my hand and swore at me and left. I was like, okay, no problem. I went. End of the day, I'm the winner. I'm not going to do anything. So I went to get my medal. I got my medal, and I left. Went, had a good time in London, had a good dinner, took the flight, came back to Dubai. We started training. That was in March. 18th of October is the World Pro again, as a blue belt. I was training hard that time. Like this 4 months, I was like in a full camp training with Alex, and I got a business trip to Hamburg.
Hold up. So in competitions, like when you have a camp, what is the training program like?
Training program, we do like strength and conditioning. We do like a specific training. For me, I used to train 1 hour of technique, 1 hour of drills, repetition, and 1 hour of sparring, and 1 hour of just troubleshooting the techniques, whatever. So I used to train like 3 to 4 hours a day.
Like, let's say, do you focus on your weak areas, or do you focus on the areas that you actually have an advantage to make it even stronger?
Back then, we used to focus more on the strategy. Like, how do you want to fight? What is your plan A? What is your good?
How do you decide? How do you decide on the strategy?
You have a coach for a reason.
Yeah.
He knows what you're good at, right?
Yeah.
And you feel comfortable doing this game plan, right? So we used to do it specific. We call it specific training, where you, let's say it's a full guard, it's a takedowns.
It's not like let's say if it's whether it's MMA or boxing, you are preparing for one fighter. So where you're preparing for his style of fighting.
Exactly.
Right? But here you're preparing
you're
for
like
competition.
4 or 5 competition.
So how do you decide on?
So how do you win? You need to put him in your game. It's like a chess again.
No, but wait, in the preparation, how do you decide which strategy are you gonna pick?
So exactly. But how do you decide which strategy in chess? You go in, you put your strategy, you force him into your strategy, right? So in Jiu-Jitsu is the same. You have to start first, be the first guy, put him in your game, and then he needs to find a way out.
Play your game, yeah.
He plays your game. If you play his game, this is his advantage. So we used to get the timing right. Like for me, I was a guard player. Like I pull guard all the time. So for me, I didn't like anybody pulling guard on me because I need to start falling into his game. I want him to be in my game. So this is how we prepare for it, to put your game plan first so you can execute your game plan the right way. So we do specifics, we do the preparation every day, physical training, like sparrings, and you manage your weight, everything. So it was 15th or 16th of March, I remember, and 18th of April, I was supposed to do the World Pro. I'm competing in the World Pro. So on the 1st of April, I get a business trip with work to Hamburg, Germany. I was like, wow. But I have the World Pro. Normally we get that sports leave where you just tell them. That time it didn't work, so they didn't approve my leave. So I had to travel. Traveled for almost 2 weeks before competition. Zero training. I trained it twice. I tried to find training in Germany. I trained twice. No training. Eating is not the healthiest food. I was like, okay, let's see. And I told my coach, I was like, I'm traveling. He wasn't very happy. I flew back on the 17th night. I'm competing on the 18th, right? So I arrived to Abu Dhabi airport, made it to the arena. The weigh-ins were closed. Like you can't weigh yourself in because you have to check your weight a day before. But they had you can check it in the next morning before competition.
Oh, okay.
I checked my weight. I was like 2 kgs above. Went back home, sauna, weight cutting, blah, blah, blah. And I slept. I made my weight.
What is the weight cutting process?
No. It's for that one, it wasn't a weight cut process. It was like sauna rounds, sauna suit, cycling. So you get like 2-3 hours of sweating and you drop your water weight. Yeah. So because it's not a big amount of weight you need to cut, like 2 kgs is nothing. Normally in MMA and other competitions, you cut between 7 to 12 kgs. So I did the weight, went second morning. I went really early at 8 o'clock. Weighed in, got my badge, got everything, walked into the warm-up area. I was like, hey, listen, now you're not going to be the best.
Yeah, there's no
You've already been like, how many days?
2
you
weeks.
Didn't train 2 weeks, overweight, cutting weight before one day, and you come in hungry to the competition, didn't have the best sleep, because when you cut weight, like, you don't have the best sleep. Probably these guys been training for years and years and days, and you were just in Germany for like 2 weeks, did nothing. I was like, it's it.
It makes you free, though.
Made me free. This is what we talked about in the beginning. I messaged my coach. I was like, hey, where are you? Are you in the arena? He's like, yeah. I told him, don't worry, coach. Today I'm getting you gold. He's like, yeah, inshallah. This is what he said. I looked at the brackets. I had like six matches. Went in the first one, finished it with a submission. Second one, submission. Third one.
Do you look at the
my opponents?
Your opponents before, or you don't?
I never look at my opponent.
That makes sense.
Because for me it doesn't matter.
You don't want to start.
No, I don't. I never start that. I don't look, because end of the day, I want to make him play my game.
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
matter
about
who
you
he
performing.
is. About me performing and putting my
doing your
best.
part.
Do my part, exactly. So I went in, first one, second one, third one. I was like, quarterfinal. Wow. Now I'm at the semifinal. And I competed in the semifinal at one guy, and then I came to know that He's a big rapper in Czech Republic. His name is Benny Castro or something like that. The guy was really good. He was really good, and I see him submitting everybody before he reached the semifinal. I looked at the semifinal, and on the other side, guess who was there? Like, because when you come up in the bracket, you come into from each side. Yeah. From this side, it was me and Benny, and this side, I saw the Polish guy who I competed in London. I was like, there is no way I'm losing. There's no way I'm losing. I'm going to the final. If he's there, I'm gonna slaughter him. That's it. So I competed with the Ben Me. It was like, I think I remember 6-0, and then I got him in an armbar. And then I still can't believe that I'm in the final of the Worlds and the World Pro. I was like, it's one match to be a World Pro champion.
Crazy.
And I saw my coach. He's like, boy, he start talking to me in Brazilian, like in Portuguese. I told him, listen. He's like, you don't lose today. I was like, I'm not losing. Don't worry. So,
but wait, all the opponents, any one of them was like a tough one for you?
It was the first one was good. He is my friend's student. Second one, I remember I beat him easily. Third one was a Russian big guy. I beat him in points. So it was like a really tough one.
What was going through your head during? You remember the mental journey?
I'm not losing. My head is just like, now I'm in a competition. I want to prove my coach that I'm winning, because he doubted that I felt the doubt in his voice where you're gonna win because you weren't here for the past weeks. So my thing wasn't just being a world champion. It was like coach also. Me and the coach. We need to settle the score. You know, just I told you I'm gonna do it. It means I'm gonna do it. So I went to the final, and guess what? That Polish guy is there. I was like, oh damn! Welcome home, baby. Now you are in my territory. Nice. So let me take care of you. So we went in. I beat him up real bad. Won the gold of the World Pro, and he didn't
leave it for the referee.
Didn't leave it for the referee. I submitted him. Yeah, I remember. I submitted him. I didn't leave it for the referee.
Made him tap.
Yeah, I made him tap. So I won that gold, and I was like, I still in denial. I was like, no, it's not me. It's like everybody's flying all over the world. The people coming in, they wanna win that medal.
You were off for 2 weeks.
Just like off 2 weeks, and then I was like, oh wow, I think I need to use this strategy next time. I just take off the pressure off my shoulder. I don't need to pressure myself. So I started using the strategy in any other competition. A week before competition, no training.
Okay.
So any other competition, if I'm competing, a week before a competition, I don't train.
But before, was it like the week before the competition? Like the training, is it still as intense, or is it like...
Before it was like...
The same.
Because
in endurance training, like let's say when you're doing triathlons, let's say 80% usual. Easy training,
you don't want to
20%
tear your body apart, right?
Yeah, for us, and also injuries will cut off your training, and especially the week before the competition.
You just do active recovery.
Easy, activation.
Active recovery or activation, yeah.
Activation, and that's it. But you're not going to do long mileage or any of that. You're just preserving
your energy for the
day of competition. You hydrate extra, like a couple of days.
Where are you doing the Ironman?
It'll be in Oman.
In Oman?
It'll be in Oman.
Amazing.
Yeah, that'll be my first.
It's gonna be cold, huh?
Hey.
Is it?
Of course. But you wear your swimsuit, and it's definitely better than... like early August. I was running in Banias in Abu Dhabi.
Oh.
At night it was 44 degrees. I had to be there for my nephew and niece's wedding. But training had to go on.
Exactly.
God.
The humidity, running.
Oh my God. I think Banias is the hottest spot in UAE.
Are you sure?
I think so. I'm telling you.
Sure?
Come in summer, right? Abu Dhabi is very humid, You know.
But Banyas, I feel it's a bit further, like it's not in the island.
So that's why it's just hot and humid, both. And I don't like comparing to any other person working out. I always sweat less. I was drenched in sweat throughout. Heat stroke. A month before that, I went through a heat stroke. And I was still new to endurance training. I went with my with my friends from the boot camp, and one of the coaches, it was his father's memorial. So whenever the day that his father passed away, he does training. That's how he remembers. So 100 push-ups, we run, do 100 pull-ups, run, 100 push-ups. So I did 100 push-ups, and I'm still new to all of this. If you're coming from bodybuilding, you can just do 100 push-ups. Yeah. You're not used to training in the heat. You're always training in the gym.
It's a different type of muscle, different pressure
Completely,
on your muscle. It's
conditioning.
Conditioning.
I went to I did the 100 push-ups, and a lot of the guys there, they cheat. They don't do
proper 100 push-ups.
Yeah. But I can't. I have to. Even if I'll be the last, but I will not cheat one.
You're cheating yourself.
I'm cheating myself. And then when I get home,
I'm the winner.
There's no way I'll be comfortable. So I did that. I went, did the pull-ups. I got to 40, and my head just started spinning. Spinning, and it wouldn't slow down. I sat, it's still going. Started sitting on the side, and it's just going. And at least one of the girls there, Patricia, she sat there at least, and she walked me through, managed to go and get water and salt, started getting cramping up on the glutes, and I was like, later I know that, this is proper dehydration.
Need to hydrate all the time.
I walked back. For me, it was like the walk of shame. And for everyone else, it's like, it's just nothing. It's normal. For me,
you're a competitor. That's why.
It was, and it light this fire in me. And of course, when you get a heat stroke, I didn't know this, you get fever after it. So the next 2-3 days, I had fever. I'm just home. But by third day, they had a run. I went. Right? I popped my Panadol just to get the temperature down, drank some Gatorade, and I went for the run. And I was like, in the run, I'll make sure I beat them, because I have to prove I am not that guy who can't handle it. No, I can handle it, right? And more. So, but that was that was in July. So you can imagine the heat running on Kite Beach in July. It definitely, in this whole endurance journey for me, it was a good point where it lit fire in me. And of course now, which is something I would ask you, I'm still not finding the right, I think it's different for everyone. Pacing, right? So somebody would be like, no, pace yourself. Don't try and go quickly up. You should take it easy. Don't.
I always say to my guys, it's like, enjoy the journey. Don't try to reach the top very fast, because you'll get bored.
But for me, it's boring if I don't push myself.
You push yourself, but enjoy the journey, right? You don't be harsh on yourself, right? You need to listen to your body at all times. We're humans.
You learn later.
Yeah, you need to listen to your body the hard way, but
yeah.
The same thing. I used to be like you, man. I'm just like, bah, 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 bah. I want to go. I want to do this. But at the end of the day, you know that you're not proving anything to anyone. You're enjoying the journey. You learn the best when you take your time.
Yeah, but when you did the open weight.
Yeah, I did the open weight, but I've been training, and if I lost, I already secured my medal.
Yeah,
so it was just a bonus, the open weight, when I did it. For me, everybody in the UAE here who knows me from the first generation is like, Aboud is the longest black belt in the country. And I stayed in each belt. I didn't rush my promotion. It's not me, but my coaches. Yeah. They kept me in each belt for some time. Now people getting their black belts under like 4 or 5 years, 6 years of training, they get their black belts. It took me 11 years.
Yeah, but
Okay,
you
I
learnt a lot.
didn't give up. But look at it now. If you look at it, I have more experience handling myself in a better. I was exposed to way more things in the sport than anyone else. My training routine is different. You know, I know when to push, when to slow down. I know how to pick my training right. Like for me, now growing up, you know, you come up with injuries. Back in the day, I was like, oh, anybody calls me for training, because you have that discipline in jiu-jitsu and respect where a higher rank, if he calls you, you can say no. Like, let's say you're a blue belt and I'm a black belt. I tell you, let's go. You're 70 kgs, I'm 100 kg. Tell you, let's go. You can't tell him no. This is out of respect. Like, he's a higher rank. So I learned that I don't need to say no to yes to everybody. In the beginning, people found it as like offensive a little bit. But I was like, hey, son, listen, I'm sorry. It's my body. I want to continue training. I don't need to deal with 100 kg or 120 kgs. I want to train with somebody with the same
Because you're thinking about sustainability also.
Sustainability for the longer run. I'm not looking for just today to prove, oh, I can beat 100 kgs guy. All right, maybe I can beat you, but I'll screw my back for the rest of the year. You know,
yeah, it will affect your.
It will affect
training.
my performance. It will affect my training. So I started like the first role. Like when I'm training, I never go with a heavy guy. I never go with a black belt. I take one of my students. I just move around with them to warm up. I warm up. I do the stretches. I do everything. Back then, I was like, if I'm late to training, pop up, jump in, start training. Now I will never do that. So you start learning stuff about your body and yourself and your training routine way more than just rushing and trying to chase yourself up to the top.
Yeah, but I think if you had that mindset also before,
it would have helped me even more.
It would also delay you going for competitions.
Not only delay going to competition, but it would have saved me some time from injuries as well.
Yeah.
So
that's
you gotta balance it, right? So you can't be like the most relaxed guy, and then
that's the thing. The
so
balance.
You have to find that balance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So you find the balance where you know yourself. Nobody can find it for you except you.
That's the thing. So you know yourself, and okay, I'll give you an example. Like, and this is what I like about triathlon. One of these three sports, it'll be your weak point. And you'd have no choice.
You can be good at all of them.
Yeah. No, but you're going to have to go and... So it's a fair game, you know? Because those who love swimming, all of them hate running. I like running, right? I hate swimming. Right? But no problem. This is where the mindset comes in. We're going to show up. We're going to drink that water, you know?
And you got to make it. You reach that point.
So, and then I wanted to do the... there's the Grit and Tonic here. They have a triathlon in Mamzar. When I wanted to sign up for it, it was already sold out. But just days before me deciding, when I looked at the division, there was a sprint and there was the Olympic.
Don't tell me you wanted to do that.
Yeah. So now I was like, look, if it doesn't scare you, where's the excitement? If I can do the sprint, then I can do the Olympic. So I had already put in my head I was going to do it. And then when I checked, it was sold out. But I had already decided. So this is the part where I'm like, where is pacing and where's the balance of, you know, of pushing yourself? Because if I didn't have this in me, I would not make the progress 100%. That I'm making. And everybody's on their own journey. I understand. Some people, you know, have time. And everyone tells me, I know. Everyone in endurance training tell me, you're going to get humbled. You're going to get humbled. And I know the heat stroke, it humbled me.
The heat stroke is something, it's not about being humbled.
It's not about physically. I'm not talking about physically.
But they say good things takes time, right?
Yeah.
So.
But how do you
find the pace of yourself? And
of you pushing yourself forward. More than anyone else around you.
For me, you need to balance it where you have to have the pace and you need to be smart about it. Is it worth it? how important is it to you? And then you start building up your pace towards it. Like if it's not, let's say, if it's not that important, you're not going to push yourself to do it.
No, you're not.
If it's super important, you go like all the way in, right? So for me, this is the thing. Like I look at the smaller competitions now, I go like, I'm not going to go. But if it's a word, I traveled all the way to the to the States, to California to compete, I'm going to be like up there, you know, my pace is just going to be crazy.
Which for you, like showing up every time, you must have a strong why.
Strong why? Why is it's always
Like what
chasing.
Are you doing it for?
I'm chasing something for myself, like satisfaction. It's winning feeling is a satisfaction for me. To be a winner is satisfaction, not to show up. I never wanted to. It's just like, oh man, you did it. Trust me, people might think I'm crazy, but if you see me in the warm-up, I'll be talking to myself sometimes. Sometimes I'll be encouraging myself, talk to myself. I just have that words between my brains.
Like what? Like you tell yourself?
I tell myself, you came here for a reason. You're not here to waste your time. You're not here to just be part of it.
Yeah, you're not
here
just
just to participate. You're not here just to be a number. If you just want to be a number, just sit at home. Why you...
Every day
you train, you go, you leave your family. All these times you don't spend time with the family. You spend your money, you compete, you travel, camp, injuries, everything, just to be a number? Come on, man.
No, it didn't come this far.
I'm not that smart. I will look at myself as dumb guy if I'm just doing this just to be a number. And I hate it when I see people losing and coming out. It's like, it's okay, whatever. You know, you have this kind of people where they just show up. Oh, I competed. It's okay, whatever. Like, okay, you spent money to come here, to compete, to do everything just to say whatever? Come on. This is not me. I've never been that guy. My why is stronger than
how you feel.
How you feel. Doesn't matter. If you're tired, it doesn't matter. If you're dead tired, it doesn't matter. If you're broken.
Where does mindset come in trainings? How much mindset plays a role?
In trainings, it depends on your training. You need to be like, for me, I have my trainings divided into days. Like I show up on Monday. It's a tough training, but I don't push myself. Show up on Tuesday, it's a bit like your body start adapting. It's after the weekend, so I train with my students. It's not very hard training. Wednesday, the training goes like all the way. I got all the black belts in the gym, blah, blah, blah. I start being words, you know. Thursday, you start lowering down because you're recovering from Wednesday. Come back on a Friday, we push again, right? Saturday, you slow it down. Sunday is my rest day. So
how important is adaptability?
It's very important because if you don't adapt, you get lost. You have to adapt to everything around you and life even, you know. Sometimes you don't choose what you want, where you want to be or what you want to do, so you just got to adapt with the situation. If you adapt with the situation, then I always tell them you got to be the wave, right? So the waves keeps coming. If it faces anything on their way, just go through it and keeps till you reach the shore, right? So be the wave. Always keep moving forward. Doesn't matter what obstacles you see or anything, and you adapt to all the things around you. So you got to be part of it.
Like in preparations, where does it play? Adaptability.
It plays a lot because if, let's say, we'll talk about injuries. You have to adapt. Like if you have an injury, for me sometimes I had my knee injury, right? I try to play a game where I don't use a lot of my knees. Like instead of going to left side because I'm going to use my right, I start going to the right. I start finding ways just to adapt into a situation where I don't need to think about my weakness. So I adapt with the situation to move forward. It happened to me once. I was competing in the Grand Slam in Abu Dhabi, and I won a couple. I reached the semi-final. I popped my knee, the same knee, and the paramedics took me in a wheelchair. I was like, okay, that's it. I'm calling it off. I'm not doing the final. I got a phone call. My coach called one of my teammates, came into the room. He's like, coach wants to speak to you. The first thing, he's like, what happened? I told him I popped my knee. He's like, you have another one. You can't beat this guy with one knee. You got to find your way. I was like, don't be toot. Just go and fight. I was like, okay. He just, he switched on something in me. I was on the mood of giving up, where, okay, fine. I'm accepting that I'm getting injured.
Of course, already...
and he, with that phone call, he just
because of the competition, you're saying, because you worked for that competition, you're excited.
Yeah.
You're already in the middle of it.
And then he switched that switch on me. I went back. I won.
What was the switch?
The switch when he called me is like, he just reminded me of the reason why you're here. Why you're here? You're not here just to play around and give up. You just don't need to be here from the beginning if you want to give up on the last step. Like, you have only one more step to get that gold. Go in for it. What are you going to lose? You deal with your leg later. Now you have 5-6 minutes, deal with it, and then after that we'll see what happened with your leg. So this is the mindset I've been around the whole time.
And what do you, I'll tell you what Firas Zahabi
Firas is a great coach, man.
Yeah, GSP, of course.
GSP, and shout out to my friend as well. He's here. He used to be his coach, Nuruddin Talib, TNT. He used to be a UFC veteran. He told me a lot. He trained with GSP and all these guys in Canada. And he told me a lot how things are happening there. And when he came here and he saw the training and the way we train, he's like, we share the same mindset, how Firas used to treat us in the gym. It's like not the commercial way, which is the real martial arts way.
All right. So for you, what is mental toughness?
Oh, man. It's just, for me, the mental toughness where you just convince yourself that you're okay. No matter what, you're okay. You don't need nobody to tell you you're okay. If you wait for somebody to tell you you're okay, you're not tough enough.
Yes, not to look for
validation from outside. No matter what happened, you stand up and you said, okay, I'm okay. Doesn't matter. If people come and try to show sympathy, I was like, no, I'm okay. I'm dealing with it. Show them that you don't need anybody to show you any sympathy.
Sympathy, yeah.
Right? So this is what my mental toughness. I never waited for anybody to come and like, oh, you okay? No. I deal with it myself. I'm okay. And I know that I'm okay because it's me. It's not somebody else making me feel okay.
I totally agree with that. And I would like to take your take on what Firas Zahabi said about mental toughness. He said mental toughness, in his opinion, is seeing the opportunity in everything. Like seeing the positive in everything. That's what he said. What do you think?
I totally agree. If you look at it, for us as Muslims, man, you always say Alhamdulillah. You always look at it as...
True.
People die, you say Alhamdulillah. You win something, you say Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
You lose something, you say Alhamdulillah. You lose a family, you lose money. Alhamdulillah ala kulli hal. So this is the positivity, right? So for me, I'm following that. Even I validate what Firas said. It's just you got to accept, if you accept everything coming from God, from Allah, this is what being written for you, and you believe in it, then this is the toughness. That's all what you need. You take all that toughness from believing in Allah. That's how I look at it.
Amazing. He also said that winners see failure as temporary.
I would say I have a different idea about winners. All right, you can be a winner, but you can be a champion. Right? Yeah. You might win, but you're not a champion. You win, you accept losing. It's temporary, maybe, but if it didn't go your way, The second time, you lose, you come back, you lose again. Winners, some of them, they give up. And we see examples in life, right?
Yeah.
People who lost a couple of times, they give up. Take Shira, which he won. He's a winner. Was a champ. Lost. Took off the gloves. Left.
But I think it was a box for him. He wanted to tick.
He ticked, yeah, but that's a winner. That's not a championship mentality. For me, it's not a championship mentality.
Not like a long
Exactly.
reign.
Have you watched Habib and Dustin Poirier?
Yeah.
Do you remember the fight? Oh.
I remember more the Gaethje fight than the Poirier fight.
Okay, you remember the Gaethje fight because it's most recent.
Yeah.
When Poirier fought McGregor, everybody, I was in the arena, I was cage side, and everybody stood up in the first round. When Poirier got him in a guillotine, everybody expected Habib to tap that night because it was so tight, so locked. Nobody ever saw Habib in a bad position in a fight like that before.
Yeah.
But guess what?
He still came out.
Came out. Why? Because he's not a winner. He's a champion. He have that mental toughness.
Which is the same like when Volkanovski
Volkanovski with Ortega.
Yes.
With Ortega. With Ortega got triangle, even with Islam, when he fought Islam the first time. You saw him. He took his back. That's mental toughness. That's a championship mentality. But a lot of winners, like McGregor, was one of the, like, I have nothing against him, but he was the face of MMA, winner, blah, 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 won a lot of fights, won 2 belts, double champ. Once he got caught with Nate Diaz, tap, the first fight.
Yeah.
When he got caught with Habib, he tapped. Do you think Habib will ever tap?
No.
Do you think? These guys have something different. They built different. They built in a different way. And this goes back to their belief. I will tell you, none of Habib guys will ever tap. They rather go to sleep or die and leave it all in than tapping.
Or lose.
And Habib said it. He was like, what do you mean? All you people for McGregor coming to see you flying from Ireland and you tap? You give up like that? You look like, for me, giving up is worse than losing.
It's like easier said than done, but basically rather lose my arm than to just
tap.
Yeah.
So this is what the mental toughness. Winners, there's so many winners in life. How many of them? And they lose. Will they come back?
Which is now like, I don't know, like let's say with Kamaru.
Kamaru was like a champion winner, but the guy is...
No, for the longest time.
For the longest time, yeah. But did you see them? We're talking about mental toughness. Did you see that Leon Edwards' first fight? Come on.
Yeah.
He was losing. He was losing the whole 4 rounds.
Edwards, yes.
Edwards, he was losing.
Yeah.
Came back.
He was...
His coach had that switch. He's like, don't let them bully you, son. He stood up, boom, head
And when
kick.
I heard it, I was like, am I hearing this right?
Yes, don't let them bully you.
I was like,
because in the 4th round, Kamaru was like almost making fun of him because he was getting tired, fatigue, championship,
altitude,
high attitude. And then he went in that switch. This is the switch I'm talking about.
And you could
this
see
is the mental.
Edwards, he was exhausted.
This is the mental toughness. This is the switch. You need good people around you to switch it on when you can't. This is when I told you my coach did that. He had that switch. When Leon Edwards' coach did that, who expected Leon walking in and knocking him out? I was like, I jumped out of my seat.
No one ever did that.
No one ever did that, and he did it in a beautiful fashion. Like I haven't seen it.
But he had already trained it.
But
over.
Guess what?
Execution.
He had
is
4
different.
rounds to execute it. He didn't.
True.
Right?
True.
So
True.
no matter what you trained, if you can't execute it, you can't find the right timing. And trust me, if he didn't have that talk from his coach, he would have lost. He wouldn't even tried. Because that battles goes into your brain once you are tired, man. It's insane. It's like, why I'm doing this? Why I'm doing this to myself? I just don't. I want the ring. I want to hear it. I want it to finish. I don't care if I win or lose. If you train, you gotta feel it. Even sparring, you go like, you start looking at the time. What's the time? A lot of fighters, you hit them between rounds. It's like, what's the time? Which round is it? Which round is it? It's like, they just want to get out. They hate the feeling being there because they're tired, fatigued, getting beaten up in front of the whole world. So imagine that battle in your brain, and you know you're losing. Imagine you're losing 4 rounds. You're losing 4 rounds. How tough you need to be to come back and believe in yourself and to execute it. Because that battle will go like, okay, I trained it, but nothing is working. For 4 rounds, I've been losing.
Yeah, especially to somebody who's been winning
and that part
20
where,
straight fights.
And Usman was like one of the greatest welterweights. It was like, oh, nobody's beating him. And Leon just went in, switched on, did it.
But usually mindset, people think, yeah, the day of the competition, you know, your mindset plays a big role. But after I got into endurance training, I said the mindset is in the preparation, in the training. Most of it is there, more than the competition day.
I agree, but people say the day of the training. But for me, it's during the preparation and during the fight.
The fight itself.
Because if you have that mindset solid during the day, okay, you can talk to yourself, oh, I'm the champ, I'll do this, I'll do that, I did that, I prepared. You see them, all of them, they talk to themselves, like trying to convince themselves that they did everything. Oh, I'm going in to win. They still lose. Why? Because during that 15 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever, you don't have that toughness where to...
When things are not working out in your way.
When things not working out your way, you'll start, don't know what to do.
But how do you kill that doubt? How did you kill that doubt in yourself? And
see, I think being stubborn is one of the major keys. You know, I'm serious. So I'm kind of stubborn. Like for me,
you can't like win and without being stubborn. Like
you gotta be stubborn.
You can be consistent in preparation and training without being stubborn.
You never take a no for an answer.
Yeah,
always
take it easy.
No. Never.
Now you have your Falcons
MMA
school.
Dubai. Yes,
Mashallah.
Sir.
Guys, you need to check it out. You have, it's not just only for grown-ups, also for kids.
No. We start with the kids. We have a beautiful program for kids and for kickboxing, Jiujitsu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We have for the beginners as well. We got classes for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, adults, beginners. And we have the competition team where they compete as well. If you're looking for a good rounds of jiu-jitsu grappling, we've got a couple of killers on the mat as well.
But I want to know for the kids, what is the change you see in them before and after them joining?
I've been in talks with a lot of parents.
Parents, yes. Their feedback.
They come, the generation now is a bit softer than what
of course
we used to be, right? Yeah. The my iPad, malls, fast food,
throughout.
Not playing in the neighborhood, they're not playing down, it's only at home, play dates and this. So a lot of parents, they bring their kids, it's like, oh, my kid is weak. It's like, never say that. He's not weak. You didn't give him the right platform or right environment for him.
To build it.
Not to build it. Maybe he's super strong, but you didn't even explore it. How do you call him weak? At 9 or 8 years old, you call him weak because all what you do is giving him an iPad, take him out to malls, play around with him, but you never trained him, you never did anything. Oh, he plays football. It's like, okay, he plays football with his friends. Come on, explore your kids' potential. See where they can stand. So a lot of them, they come in, after a couple of months, they go like, wow, we notice the change. We notice how their personality developed. I was like, weakness doesn't come from the strength, the power, the muscles. You see, there's some people who walk into the room and you can feel their energy. You can feel their confidence. You can feel their aura around them, right? Yeah. You just walk in, it's like, oh, this guy. And you feel some people, they walk in, shoulders down, hands down, looking around, scared.
Yeah.
This is what we work on. In jiu-jitsu and in martial arts, we work into their confidence. The kid start building his confidence, fighting with another kid, sparring with him, training with him, knowing he's his friend and training partner, and trying to kill each other. At the same time, they're playing together. So imagine all that combination together. It builds their confidence, it builds their character, it builds their strength at the same time.
And the parents say that they notice difference.
Oh man, when you come, inshallah, I will show you. Like I had a kid who came in. He was like very shy. Today he's one of the best. I have him one of the best, and he wants to compete. He's asking me to compete. I was like, you sure? And his dad wants him to compete as well. I was like, you want to walk into an arena with 3,000-4,000 people, and you want to walk. And he took some of them. I don't know if you check them out on Instagram. They went to compete, and I was surprised. The kid showed full confidence, walking in, waving his hand, checking his father, fighting. I was like, wow. Till today, if I walk into an arena, I want to compete. I feel that rush, and people are looking at me. He walked in, start waving when he got to the podium. I was like, man, this kid is
not the same
kid
who when he joined.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so it builds their confidence, their character, their self confidence in them, and belief and strength. And they start walking and they start talking. They are proud about it. Like a lot of them, oh, coach, I talked about my friends today. I showed my friend something in school. I showed him like a takedown. I showed him how to choke. I was like, wow. And one of them, like, he's not young. He's 16, 17. He was telling me, he was like, coach, when the people found out that I'm doing jiu-jitsu in school, they stopped picking on me. I was like, that makes me happy.
Yes.
That makes me happy.
I usually sometimes ask at the beginning, at the end, for you, what is high performance mindset?
High performance mindset. Oh, that's another episode. Let's go again. High performance mindset. I would say you always challenge yourself, have that mental toughness, and always aim to be the better version of yourself. Like you don't need to do anything for anyone. You always seek the satisfaction of being at the top for yourself. Put your goals, work towards them, and be stubborn. Don't give up. Once you start giving up, nothing will work for you.
Nothing will happen.
If you always, there is a way. If there is a will, there is a way. This is how I look at it. There's a lot of things happened in life with me, especially. Like it didn't go my way. I'll find the other way to get to it. So you need to have that self-belief in yourself. You set your goals really high, you work towards them, and you always believe in achieving them. Doesn't mean that it didn't work the first time, it's not going to work the second time. As we were speaking, it took me almost 4 years to win the World Pro. Like I kept going back. So you always keep going back, and there's always another time, and there's always next time to do it. So never ever give up, because giving up is not an option. Once you start taking that option off your list, things will go the way you want. This is how I look at it.
Well said. Well said from a champion.
Thanks,
Habibi.
sir.
Abdelrahman, this has been an honor.
My pleasure. Had a lot of fun in this episode. I think we're running out of time, but let's book another session.
Yeah. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, sir.